Hello everybody, ciao a tutti and welcome to Art with Ms.B. Today we're gonna spend some time together with another drawing activity and we're gonna learn how to draw a cute little owl. For this activity you just need a white piece of paper, a pencil for drawing and a eraser just in case. You can color with coloring pencil or with markers, and if you want to do the outlines you can use a black Sharpie or any type of markers, any brand that you have available. You can do this activity in class, in school, if you are homeschooled, on your own. You can do it with your parents, with your grandparents. It's a beautiful, simple activity for any skill levels that you don't really need to be good in drawing to be successful in this activity. Remember to check all the other videos in the series how to draw, and I publish many that they can help you to boost your drawing skill, and there are different levels. I would say beginner friendly and also intermediate, so you can choose kind of your practice and you can keep improving and keep track of your improvement. I'm gonna switch the camera so we can start, and this is a very quick activity that can be done in 15 minutes. I see you after. Okay friends, we are ready for a beautiful cute little owl. Now I love owl and they can be done in many different ways. We're gonna choose something very beginner friendly. So let's start with your geometric shapes. Let's start with a circle. You point the pencil, circle / oval. You go very slowly around, and then you bring it back up. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be puffy. Okay, now we are going to proceed with two other circles inside. Those circles are smaller but still pretty big. So we place one on the left, leave some space, and one more on the right. The secret is that you want to look at the pencil and move your your pencil slow. They don't have to be perfectly the same because we are going to design a very funny type of owl. So we're going to start with the other two diagonal lines that go this direction, so they converge inside, and then we're going to do smaller circle here and smaller circle here. That we are going to create an upside down triangle over here and two tiny little oval inside. Now look what we do. We come in with the upside down triangle, the point in the middle of the eyes, up and down. And then we keep going, the same line, and we do a triangle over here and then a triangle over here. And this will be the ear. You can close them, 1 and 2. Now we're going to just do two straight lines that goes down, following the lines of the ear all the way down. And then we're gonna create a nice little texture like this. One. It's like you're doing waves basically, because it's the same motif and design that can be used to do waves. Now we're going to add very skinny and funny legs. 1, 2, 3. Remember, this is not a realistic owl. It's just something very cute that everybody can realize. And because we wanted to give him, something to stand upon, we're going to create a nice branch. Make it thinner. And then we are going to add the 1, 2, and 3 leaves. And here we have our pretty owl. Now let's have fun and color. We can start from the beak. Because it is not a realistic owl, don't stress yourself or concern yourself too much about the colors that you're going to use. I suggest you to have fun and use your favorite color. You can do the coloring with markers like I'm doing. It's going to take you a little less time. But if you have or if you want to indulge in a longer activity, you can also use coloring pencil. If you use coloring pencil, you can either color exactly like I'm doing with markers, just with pencil, or you can do some blending and shading if you wish so. Overall, this is not like a realistic drawing, as we say, so it doesn't really require uh, shading and blending, but remember that these are also practices, so you can practice as you wish and you can make changes. So I'm using short strokes. You can use this technique, or you can use a long kind of lines, slow type of strokes for a smoother result. Whatever you think like is better for you, whatever is the technique that you like to use the most. Just remember, pay attention, choose your colors intentionally, which means that the color must mean something to you. They might, they really go along nice together. Let's see, what do we have here? I'm going to add this one over here. If you like this activity, you can do multiple of these owls because they are really easy. As you notice, just a circle, triangles, other circle, and a very, very easy pattern. And you can create characters. So you can create different owls with different colors and maybe a different pattern. You can name them. You can create cards. If you know that someone in your family loves owls, this is a beautiful idea for a handmade card. You can create them many, and then instead to have the branch, you can just cut them out. You can laminate them, so you turn them into sort of something that you can play with. You can use them as a bookmarks. There are really, really a lot of possibility here. Let's see. I'm gonna do a green gray. I'm just randomly picking the markers that I have available. Beautiful color. I love this dark green gray. Such a quick and nice activity. I'm gonna use the same dark gray for inside the ear. You can, as I say, you can use different combination of color, but I always suggest you to repeat one color more than once, maybe in a corresponding detail, because you create a color harmony and unity, which means that you bring the eyes of the viewer, the person who will look at the picture, from one uh, detail to another thanks to the color, because you create dialogue and connection, right? Disconnect to this one, disconnect to this one, disconnect to this one, and so on and on. So regardless of the colors and the media that you decide to use, just keep in mind that when you color, you want to create a harmony, a unity. You want to really embrace that design. You want to bring all details nicely together. Now I'm going to use the light gray, and because I have the big tip of the marker, so if you are lucky and you're using dual, or if you have them at home and you're using dual tip markers, definitely this one will allow you to go faster. The only thing that you need to pay attention is that because the tip is way larger, you want to make sure that you move it around, otherwise you will cover the design, right? And instead, remember that we do not color over unless it is intentional, but we color inside or around the design that we created. Otherwise, we're going to cancel basically and erase all the work that we have done with a pencil, right? So just whatever you're using, be mindful and remember that coloring should make something even more pretty, well done and finished, and it should not take something away or make it look messy instead. So take your time, just try your best to do a wonderful job in coloring. I'm not pressing, like it, don't do pressure on the paper. I'm not pressuring at all. I'm going nice and delicate, so I'm not getting tired at all. It's very relaxing. And then you can go over with alcohol markers, so you can kind of support some kind of texture if you want. So I'm going to slightly going over the belly and over here, and a little bit here that the color is slightly lighter than the rest. Beautiful. Now I'm going to grab a brown for my branch. I intended a little darker brown, but it's okay. Maybe I will just go. Remember, don't color over. Be patient. Outline the area that you need to color so you won't accidentally color something else. Proceed with care. Let me grab a darker brown. And I color just the bottom of the branch, just to create a little more interest into the piece. Give a bit of value, so you have like a sort of a shadow, right, which is way better. And even for the leaves, I think that I will use a darker green and a lighter green, just because it makes it prettier. I didn't forget about the eyes. We're gonna go back there once we switch to the black Sharpie or black markers. Remember that this activity can be done even with regular Crayola markers, Scholastic markers. You don't have to have the permanent. We're working on paper, so the design will stay regardless, right? I just happen to love alcohol markers. I love their smell. I love the intensity and the saturation of the ink. And because they come in a dual tip, so you have the commodity of using a thicker tip when you have to color bigger surface. But if you have just regular markers, remember that you can do a fantastic job just by following the steps. And I don't know what happened. My hands that is all messy with markers. Now I need a vivid green. Gonna use a lighter green over here. Nice and bright. This is more like a sort of a little cartoonish style, right? So we can really be creative with the colors. If you want to do fall colors for the leaves, do it. You can use a little bit of red and purple and orange. As we say, just what I want you to do is just choose intentionally the colors and not just by randomly picking whatever, but using what you have available in a way that corresponds to you really your creative intention. Now let's go to with the black. We're going to first color the eyes, and if you have a thicker markers, even better, because you're going to do it faster. But if you have just the extra fine, or you don't want to switch between the extra fine and the fine, just use what you have. Now we start with our outline. This time we're going to use pretty neat type of lines. We can do black and black inside. Just go slow and try your best to go over the lines that you trace with a pencil. Remember, my friend, that the secret is that you do not have to press too hard with the marker on the paper, because pressing hard at first will make the marker release more ink, and second, it will block the movement of your wrist. So it's going to make it more difficult for you actually to move your wrist around, and it's going to be way more tiring. Now over here, you proceed with care. If a little accident happens, you can just make, for example, the line a little thicker, okay? There is always, almost always, a way to fix tiny little mistakes and embrace them in our design. Now we go up, down, bring the line down and bring the line down. We're going to bring this line down, and then we're going to go over the lines that we traced at the beginning with a pencil. If we want, we can do some nice strokes to suggest a different type of texture. Very cute. Gonna outline the legs. 1, 2. And finally, we are going to outline the branch. We outline the leaves. And we conclude with a nice texture on the leaves, just simple diagonal lines in 2 different directions. And voila, my friends, our owl is all done. Isn't it the cutest, most adorable owl ever? I hope you had a lot of fun with me. I definitely did it. And I see you soon with another beautiful, simple, and fun practice that will enhance your fine motor skills. Ciao!